You know him from Grandma's Boy. You know him from Benchwarmers, and so much more. Make some noise for the one and only Nick Swardson.
That's the show.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Raleigh, Durham, how are you? Thank you for braving the fucking humidity.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Just fucking moist genitals. That's the new name of Raleigh, Durham.
It's so hot out there, man. And we're doing a street fest this weekend.
Oh, yeah, of course. Why not?
We're all going to melt.
Yeah. Good God.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming to the panel.
No, of course, brother. I mean, everybody here, obviously, all big fans of your work. I'm like lost for words right now.
Well, this is horrible timing to be a loss for
I know.
words.
Let's reset
There's
that.
a fucking whole audience here.
All right, back to me. So welcome, man. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
I don't really see you at a lot of conventions. Do you do conventions a lot?
No, this is my first. I did my first one in Knoxville, Tennessee, like
Nice.
a month ago. I don't know if that's a rival here or anything.
I don't know.
But yeah, and I've been to Raleigh, Durham. I've done stand-up here for years, so it's great. But yeah, doing these conventions are great. I love meeting fans. I love hearing their perspective. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about in terms of the state of comedy right now and what's going on, which is very frustrating.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I would love to.
Well, because a lot of people are wondering, like, where are the comedies? You know, a big thing that people talk to me about is they're like, where the fuck are the movies like Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
Why is nobody making movies like that?
Yeah.
And here's the deal. It's a really weird time for comedy because as you notice, the last 5 movies I saw in the theater, there were no trailers for an upcoming comedy. And it's like horrifying. And so I've got 4 scripts right now. I was one of the main writers of Grandma's Boy, Benchwarmers, Bucky Larson, you know, done a bunch of stuff. But so I've got 4 scripts, and it's a problem because people are scared to make comedies because they don't translate overseas. So a lot of places, you know, they want to get subscribers from India and China and stuff like that. So those don't translate. Horror translate, animation, superhero, stuff like that. So it's a really weird time. And so, you know, we're trying to get comedies going. And, you know, there's no comedies in the theaters because, you know, they don't think that they're bankable. So it's really, really frustrating. So just so you know, I've got 4 scripts. I'm trying to get comedies off the ground. But, yeah, there is kind of a pushback, just so you know. That's why. I mean, a movie like Grandma's Boy would be really hard to get made right now. But it is doable, and I'm going to fucking do it.
Yes.
So, yeah, very exciting.
No, definitely. There's definitely a pushback with comedies in Hollywood as far as movies are concerned. Do you feel the same in stand-up as well?
No, stand-up's actually phenomenal. I mean, stand-up's really great. There's a lot of people doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Live shows are everywhere, you know what I mean? You know, and a lot of people think, like, oh, everyone's so sensitive, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking bullshit. In comedy, just say whatever the fuck you want. Comedy is subjective. If you don't like something, that happens. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, move on. If you don't like a joke, there's going to be another one, you know? So it's like, comedy's fine. There's always been pushback on comedy and saying stuff, and, you know, but it's like, whatever.
Well, you kind of have
It'll be fine.
You already have an established fan base.
I've done stand-up for 30 years.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how far back anybody here goes with me. I'm almost 50 years old. By round of applause, who here is over 40? Anybody here over 40? That is a solid turnout, because this is the time when you nap. This is a fucking nap time, and you guys rallied. You're probably on mushrooms. We don't know. God bless it. Thank you for your... Or you shit in a plant. God, you can do that at any age. That never gets old. But, yeah, so I've been doing stand-up a long time, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah, you guys started, like, what, 18? Or when did you
I started at 19 years old, and then I was big on, if anybody remembers, a network called Comedy Central.
What's that?
I don't know what they're doing anymore. So
now it's like comedy adjacent.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird thing that they kind of dissipated in terms of, like, you know, thank God. I mean, you know, South Park kept it alive for so long. But, yeah, I mean, you don't have shows. You don't have original programming there at all. They started picking up, like, Scrubs and Office reruns. And all these comedians and writers are like, hey, what the fuck? What about us? What about our shows? What about all our original content? So, whatever, is what it is. But, there's still hope in the future for comedy. But, yeah, any Reno 911 fans? Sweet fucking Terry! So fucking sweet! So I'll share with you a quick Terry thing. So the people that created Reno 911 were Lieutenant Dangle, Tom Lennon, Kerry Kinney, and Ben Garant. So they were old friends of mine from New York, and they called me up, and they go, hey, Nick, we just sold a show to Comedy Central. It's a cop show. We want you to be on it. And I said, great. Am I a cop? No. And I go, what am I doing? And they go, here's the deal. We need you to create a criminal for us to arrest, make the character fucking insane, because this show's gonna get canceled right away. That's a true story. So I created Crazy Terry with his roller skates. And they were like, yeah, perfect. And then the show didn't get canceled. It was on for 7 years. And I don't really know how to roller skate. So if you if you watch old episodes and the movie Reno 911 Miami, when I wipe out, I fucking wiped out. That's not me trying to be hilarious. That's me hurting myself for comedy. That's the commitment that you need. And then also, side note, I don't know if you know this, some of you probably do. The entire show, 110% all improvised. There was not one line of dialogue written in 7 years of that show. We all have a heavy improv background, and that's why they cast me. Yeah, isn't that insane? So I would show up to set, and I'm like, what are we doing? And they're like, well, we're at a taco stand. And I'm like, okay. And then they would come up with kind of a premise. They'd be like, okay, we're going to bust you for tax evasion or something fucking weird. And then we would just riff on that. And then I said I was allergic to roofs and just weird shit. But so that was, anyway, the genesis of that.
Where did your...
Tacos. That was another thing. That's when you know it was improvised, because nobody could possibly write that. So our whole goal was to be insane and make the other people laugh in the scene. So that was our goal, was to say just crazy shit. So I had a thing where I would just make up like names of places that were absurd. Like I said Terry worked at Who Let the Clogs Out. Stuff like that. And then that was one where they were like, Terry, where are you working right now? And I was like, tacos. And I just kept saying tacos. The only times, forgive me, I do stand-up, so I like to do this. So the only time I really broke Tom Lennon, who plays Dangle, the only time I got Christina Applegate to play my wife. So she played Simi, my wife. And so she was a big fan, so we got her to play my wife. And so there was a scene where Dangle pulls me over, and he rolls up on me on the street. And he goes, Terry, what are you doing? And I go, I'm waiting for my wife. And he goes, you have a wife? So Christina gets out of the car and walks up. She goes, hi, my name's Simi. The J is silent. I'm Terry's wife. So Dangle goes, wait a minute. So Terry, you and her in the bedroom, you guys, do. And I go, yeah, we get in the bedroom, but I can't get hard, and then I vomit. And you can see Dangle just goes, okay, and he turns away. So that was one of my highlights, that I cracked him. I broke him in a scene.
Where do your improv roots come from? Did you take classes when you moved to New York, and or where did you start doing improv?
I started comedy in high school. So I was really bad. I started smoking weed. Yeah, in high school. The first one to ever do that. Yeah, not a lot of people do that. So smoke weed, my grades went to shit. And so I was like, I need an easy A. So I'm like, I'll take theater. So I took acting classes. Then my teacher was like, holy shit. She's like, you're actually really, really good. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then, so then my friend, who became one of my best friends, still one of my best friends, was a guy named Colton Dunn. Colton was an actor on Superstore. He was a black dude in the wheelchair. So that was my friend in high school. And he goes, dude, I'm in this improv group called Comedy Sports. And he goes, you should do it with me. So we started doing improv. And then after high school, I couldn't afford to go to college. I didn't have grades. So I started stand-up. So my roots were in improv. And then so stand-up felt kind of easy because it was weird to me that it was already, you knew what jokes you were telling. Right. Like with improv, you have no idea. So it's like horrifying. Yeah. You're walking into a scene, you don't know what anyone's going to do. So that was my background into that.
And what about writing? Because you're such a funny writer, and you do write a lot of the scripts that you're in. When did you start writing, and when did you learn to make it funny?
So the only thing that I was good at in high school was writing. So my dad was a writer, and I could write a good paper. So cut to, I'm doing stand-up. My agent calls me up, and he goes, hey, I got a gig for you. You're opening up for Jamie Kennedy. Wow. And I go, that fucking dude from Scream? He does stand-up? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, he's great, he's cool, he's a good actor. So we go, and do this gig in Arizona. And Jamie and I hit it off. He's still one of my close friends. So we're in Jamie's hotel room, and he goes, hey, man, you know that character I do on stage, B-Rad, the white kind of rapper dude? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I was thinking it'd be a funny movie. And I go, yeah, that is a funny movie. I go, you know what? You should have a scene with, like this. And he grows up in this household. And then you have this scene and this scene and this scene. And I'm like 22 years old at the time. And he goes, dude, those are great ideas. You should write it. Write the movie. And I go, I've never written anything. I don't know how to do that. And he goes, but you can see it. So just write it. And I go, okay. So Jamie paid me out of his pocket. I got a screenwriting book. It's a classic book by Sid Field. He's a big screenwriting guy. So I bought the book, and I moved in with Jamie, and I wrote the script. So Jamie and I sat there, and we went back and forth, and I fucking wrote Malibu's Most Wanted. But here's the funny part, is the original script that I wrote was called Suckers. And it was an R-rated comedy, hard R. There was people smoking crack. And it was a Dumb and Dumber, so it was a two-hander with me and Jamie. But I didn't have any cred at all. So he got a show on Warner Brothers, Jamie Kennedy Experiment, which was a great show. If you can track that down, it's fucking hilarious. And so Warner Brothers was like, hey, we want to make a movie for you. So he gave him Suckers, and they were like, oh, no, this is insane. This is not WB. So these guys came in, rewrote it, did a phenomenal job, and then that became Malibu's Most Wanted. So then after that, I was an established stand-up comic, screenwriter, and everything. So then I get a call from Happy Madison. So they call my manager, and they go, Adam Sandler wants to meet you.
And had he seen your stand-up, or how
yes.
did he find out about? Okay.
So I go, what do you mean Adam Sandler wants to meet you? And they go, he's a huge fan of your stand-up. He saw your special on Comedy Central. Wow. So I go, okay, this is fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like Adam Sandler. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I was excited as shit because Adam is a hero of mine. And even though he's one of my best friends now, he's still a hero of mine. So anyway, I go into his office, sit down with Sandler, and he, bless you. Are you okay? Are you allergic to Adam Sandler? So anyway, I'm in Adam's office, and he's like, hey, I like your stuff, man. Yeah, it's good. Your jokes about your grandma and whatever, yeah, it's good. And then he went, it's so good. It is the best. Stand up! No, I mean, he didn't do that. But, so he goes, I heard you're a writer. And I go, yeah. And he goes, I have a script called Grandma's Boy. And I go, what is it? And he goes, it sucks. He goes, it's a romantic, this is true. It's a romantic comedy, PG-13. What? And so I'm like, okay. And he goes, here. So he gave me the script. I went home and read it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. It was so bad. And so I go, what do you need from me? He goes, rewrite the whole thing. He goes, I want it rated R, hard R, make it fucking insane. Write yourself in the movie, any character you want, and make it crazy. And I'm like, okay. So I did. And that became Grandma's Boy. So It was phenomenal. I was a kid in a candy store. So me and Alan Covert wrote it, and it was great, man. I was just, my head was going all these places. I created the JP character, and nobody could figure it out. It was in my head, and nobody understood that they're like, he's a robot? I'm like, no. He's this child prodigy who's out of his fucking mind. He's like a savant, but he has an alter ego that's like a robot. So, he just goes in and out of it. So people would audition for the movie, and they'd be like, hey, Samantha, I'm going to go over here, and then beep, bop, boop, bop, boop, or whatever. It's like, they didn't understand it, so I had to, act it out. I'd be like, no. He'd be like, hey, Samantha, I'm going to go over here. Sit on my face. So we auditioned all these people, and then this is a kind of a side note about that movie. You always hear about people that were cast originally, and it fell through. Those are some of my favorite stories. So who was attached to play JP, his agent messed the deal up. So he ended up not doing it. But the original JP was Frankie Muniz.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's hilarious.
And he's great. I love Frankie. He's still a friend of mine. But yeah, his agent messed up the deal, and then Fox was like, hey, you got to read this guy, Joel David Moore. He was in the movie Dodgeball. And so I was like, okay. But I'm like, he's not right for it. He's too old. I wanted it to be like a young prodigy. And they were like, just trust me. And he came into the audition, and he was the only person that nailed it perfectly out of the gate. And then we were like, done. This is it. It's not even a question.
And it's still one of the most quotable characters. Adios, turd nuggets. So much fun.
Oh yeah, totally. So then cut to, this is great. Joel's in Avatar, and he's in all the Avatars coming out. And so I went to go see Avatar in the theater, and I was all excited. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the movie, and then Joel comes on screen, and I just hear a couple people in the crowd go, sit on my face. And I was like, oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you a gamer at all? How did the idea of a movie about game testers
Yeah,
come
I used
about?
to be a huge gamer. I had to quit or take a real hard break because I got so obsessed. Yeah. I have a really addictive personality. So
what game did you
I got fucking bonkers obsessed with Halo.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So this was horrible serendipity. So there's been a handful of writer strikes I'm sure you guys have heard about. But there was one back in the day, and it started literally the same day that Halo 3 came out. So there was no work. And then this game drops, and I was playing, and I'm not embellishing this at all. I was playing probably 12 hours a day, sometimes maybe 14. So I would start playing at 5 o'clock at night with my friends in LA, and then I would play with my friends in New York, and then I would stay up and play with my friends in Europe. Nice. So I would play throughout all these time zones, and I swear to God, this is how gross it got. I wouldn't get up if I was in the middle of playing, and I had Gatorade bottles, and I would pee in them. Yep, that's a true story. And I would have pee lined up on the side of my couch. Oh, yeah. So the answer is yes. Was I a gamer? Oh, game on, motherfucker. So then the strike ended. It went on for 3 months, and I looked like shit, and I had to I was like, I got to get back to writing. It was just eating up too much of my time. Yeah. Modern Warfare 2, I love too. That was a great game. And then BioShock. I love BioShock.
Oh, great game. Yeah.
But yeah. But I just was like, it was too much for me. So I quit smoking weed. I had to had to everything. I had to it was just
cold turkey.
Yeah, because it was just when I don't know, you just get so into shit where you're like, yeah, okay.
That's when you got Zen, Mr. Cheezel.
Yeah, I gotta fly with the seabirds and shit.
Drinking the tea and.
Yeah, so if anybody has crack out there, don't give it to me. I don't need a whole new fucking. So yeah.
How do you feel about taking some questions from the audience?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool with that? All right, there is a mic right there. We'll get as many questions as we can, and we have about 24 minutes left. Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hey, Aaron, Nick, thanks so much for coming out. I want to ask you about Hector from Blades of Glory.
Yes.
You stole every scene you were in that movie.
No, thank you.
Can you tell any stories about from that experience, or working with Will or John? Or
Yeah, it was great. Well, I'd come off. God, I'm trying to think how that would time out. I think I had done Benchwarmers with John before that, so I knew John, and I kind of knew Will a little bit, but I didn't have any scenes with Will. I was bummed out. But I love the script, and Ben Stiller produced it, and him and his partner Stuart, they called me up and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do this part?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I read it, and this is one of the only times where I didn't improvise. All those lines were written. So I know, by round of applause, who here has seen Blades of Glory? So those lines were so insane. Like, I want to cut off your skin and wear it to my birthday. I sent you a cup of my blood. Did you get my blood? And so, yeah, I love that movie. And then they loved my character so much that at the end of it, we improvised a part with the dolls. Do you remember that? It's in like the end credits, and I go, "What is this?" And they're like, "I don't fucking know. Just do whatever you want with these dolls." And I'm like, "That's a weighted question." But I'm kidding. But yeah, so I just improvised that. But that was a great experience because yeah, it was like, you just get in the mind of being like a fucking psycho stalker. But those lines, it was really well written and well directed. That's one of the few movies that you don't really like watching movies you're in because it's weird. But Blades of Glory was one. It's just so well made. It's so funny. Everybody, that whole cast is insane. But yeah, but that was one of my favorites.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your question, wherever you went. Hey, what's your name?
Hi,
What's your question?
I'm Gabby, and my question is, out of all the Happy Madison movies, which one was your favorite character to play?
Grandma's Boy was a Happy Madison movie, but I'll kind of exempt that. And I would say, in terms of my Happy Madison with Sandler, I would probably say Just Go With It, with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. Just because the character was so, it was really fun. And I remember I'm at dinner, by round of applause, who saw Just Go With It? And he said, so I'm at dinner, and Sandler called me up, and I answer the phone. I'm like, "Hello?" And he goes, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, can you do a German accent?" And I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Really quick, can you do one or no?" And I go, "I don't, like, you go to the bar with your friends, and then, you have a party and get some beer, and he goes, "Yeah, good, bye." Literally, that was the conversation. And 2 days later, he called me up. He goes, "Yeah, what's up, man? We're doing a movie in Hawaii. You, me, and Aniston. You play a German guy that sells sheep." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so that's how that happened. But this is a side story. That's another true story. After the movie came out, I was at, I believe it was at San Diego Comic-Con. And I was hanging out promoting something. And one of my friends introduced me to a German director. Roland Emmerich, you know who that is? Oh, yeah. So they go, "Hey, Roland, do you know Nick Swardson? He's a co-star of Just Go With It with Sandler. He plays a German guy." And Roland's German. And I was like, and he looks at me, swear to God, and he goes, "Yes, I know. I saw the movie." And I was like, "Sandler made me do it." And he goes, "No, you're amazing." He goes, "I laughed so hard, you're so funny." And I was like, "Oh, thank God." I thought he was gonna fucking kill me. But, so that was really cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your question. All right,
Yeah,
hi,
totally.
step on up. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Andy from Standup. Do you have any memorable heckling moments, and how have you handled them?
I don't. I mean, my shows are just all my fans, so it's like people heckle and they'll yell lines from movies, so that's great, But starting out is brutal because I started stand-up in Minnesota. I don't know if anybody here has been to Minnesota. Nice. So Minnesota is inherently very polite. So I started stand-up there. So it's kind of impossible to bomb in Minnesota because even if you're fucking horrible, they're like, you know what, that was fun.
He tried.
You know, he's doing his best up there. Yeah, that was fun. Good job. So, and I was also really high energy and really physical because I was terrified of silence. That's one of the big fears of young comedians is like just that fucking dead silence. So I was really physical and animated. So I never bombed. I never bombed for like years, like probably a year and a half, no bombing. And then I moved to New York City, and that fucking changed real quick. That changed on a dime. And one of the best advices I ever got was don't do stand-up in LA, move to New York first. They're like, make LA your last stop, because that's Hollywood. Everybody sees you. That's when you got to be ready. So I moved to New York and cut my teeth. And yeah, I bombed. I got booed off stage. I remember they put me in, it was like a late night, midnight show. And it was like, whoa. Because I was also really clean. Because Minnesota, like, comedy's not really dirty. So I was like, you know, cats are weird, right? What are they doing? And New York was like, boo! The fuck is this guy talking about cats? So I remember I got booed off stage, and it was so jarring. Within like 1 minute, like New York crowds will let you know very quickly if they don't like you. And so I got booed off within 1 minute, and it was so jarring that I didn't go on stage for like 2 weeks. I was so shell-shocked. It's really, really damaging. But you have to do it. And then to go back what I was saying, like with having an addictive personality, when I started stand-up, I just got totally addicted to it. So I was just doing it nonstop and just threw my whole life into it. So if anybody wants to do stand-up, you have to kind of commit everything to it. I mean, you have the internet now, which is different. You guys know the internet. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like, you know, back in the day, you had to drive across country and do one-night gigs and shit. But yeah, so bombing in New York was not fun, but you have to do it. And I always tell young comedians, you have to bomb. If you don't bomb, you're not really doing stand-up. Like, it helps you grow and cuts your teeth, and it's good to do. But yeah. So yeah, I bombed.
All right. Real quick question, just stand-up related. What's your take on doing actual prepared material versus nowadays a lot of comedians are relying on crowd work? It's a lot of like crowd work heavy comedy.
Yeah, I mean, crowd work's fine. You know what I mean?
But some people make it their whole act. It's just they go up there and they do no jokes. They just do crowd work the entire time. And it seems to be going over pretty well for a lot of comedians now. But like I come from a time of stand-up where it's like prepared material, you have an act, you go out and perform your act.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that crowd work is a skill set. You know what I mean? I feel like, there's a lot of great comics that do crowd work. Me personally, it's like I like a great crafted joke, a good setup, good punchline. Like, that's just me, but I'm fucking old school. I'm almost 50, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's how I love a good joke, It's like, so, but I'm friends with like Matt Rife. Matt Rife's a friend of mine, and he's great, you know what I mean? He does it, and he's good at it, and it's fine. I don't waste my time like hating on people that do shit. It's like, that to me is boring. You can dislike something, but I just, people are vocal about stuff of like, you know what, fuck crowd work people. It's like, what? Like, they're not infringing on anything. The only thing is like, it does make people come to shows, and then they think that's what a show is.
Right.
So that's the only kind of weird thing is like, people think I'm gonna be like, hey man, nice shirt, fucking idiot. It's like, I don't want to do that, But there are people that are really, really good at it. And the same thing goes with movies. I learned this early on as somebody that makes movies and writes movies. And this is a lesson, and you guys will be interested in this because, when you read reviews, and those are, when you're starting out, when I made Grandma's Boy, and the reviews were brutal. They were fucking brutal. And I was a young kid, I was, youngish, like 24, 25. So I took it personally. And so I was emailing critics back directly. So this one guy said, Grandma's Boy was the worst movie ever made. Nick Swardson sucks. The script sucks. Like the scathing review. So I decided to email him back, hey, it's Nick Swardson. You're a cunt stuffed with dog shit. And that's all I said. So then the guy got all mad. So then Sandler found out that I was doing that, and he goes, dude, you gotta stop, man. He's like, they're gonna say shit. They're gonna fucking hate you. He goes, they fucking hate me. He goes, don't read reviews. And I was like, okay. And he was like, it drives you crazy. And any one of you, if you made a film, if you made something that you believed in any capacity, and you read shit where people are like, that sucks, you suck, it does drive you crazy. And that's when you see artists, comedians, musicians, filmmakers, you have to have a whole skill set to not read that. And it's like, I feel sorry for people that have to grow up with social media because, you can post a picture of yourself, any one of you, and people will be like, that shirt sucks. Dude, your face sucks. You know what I mean? And it eats you up. And so my advice to anybody is just, it's fucking noise. It's boring, and it's stupid. And don't let that dictate your mood or your life. And as an artist, if any of you are artists out there, you just put on your blinders and make what you believe in and stand by it. And that's very important. Because I learned early on, like I would see movies, and I'd be like, oh God, that movie was fucking horrible. And then sometimes I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go online, like when I was really young. You know what? I'm gonna say what I feel. And then I'm like, and I started making movies, I'm like, you know what? The shittiest movies you've seen, people worked hard on that. And a lot of the films that you see, a lot of times you don't have control. Like I have the luxury of working with Adam Sandler, so I've been in meetings with him in the studios where they'll be like, I don't think that's funny. And he'll be like, oh, because you're a fucking idiot. He's like, don't tell me, you know what I mean? Like, and they were just wrong, but you know what I mean? So it's like, you just have to, I don't criticize stuff anymore, like publicly. Like I have opinions, but I don't go out there and be like, hey, you know what? I think this. It's just like, it's fucking hard as shit. So many people put a lot into making a movie, and if it doesn't come out good, it sucks. But sometimes that's just how it happens. And I'm not saying you don't have to be critical. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but just know that it is hard as shit getting a movie made and all the hoops you have to jump through. I mean, that's why, they have director's cuts. That's why directors get pissed and they're like, no. That's not the movie I made. I mean, one of my favorite stories, and I believe I'm saying this accurately. My friend used to work with Frank Darabont. Do you know who that is? Frank Darabont's a fucking legend. He made a movie called The Mist. By round of applause, who's seen The Mist? If you haven't, treat yourself. I believe it's a Stephen King short story. And it's so good, and I won't ruin it, but the end of that movie is, the original ending is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. And I remember, and I met Thomas Jane at a party, and I go, dude, I just saw The Mist. And he goes, yeah, it's crazy, right? And I go, yeah, that fucking ending. So I heard that Frank Darabont wanted this ending, and again, I won't spoil it. He wanted the ending so bad that they cut the budget, because the studio was like, you can't have it. And he goes, I'll cut the budget in half. He goes, that is the ending I want. So the special effects aren't that great. See the black and white cut? But the special effects aren't that great just because Frank stood by artistically what he wanted for that ending, and it's gold. So I'm so happy that he did that, because it's one of the best things ever. But just so you know, there are so many variables to like trying to get a movie made. That was kind of a long answer to whatever it was, but
Yeah. But an important one.
yeah, but in
Yeah.
summation.
All right, let's get back to the line. We have about 10 minutes left. I know at some point I'm going to have to cut the line off, so I'll be the bad guy. But if you don't get to ask your question here, we'll get to visit Nick later
I won't
on.
blab so much, sorry.
No, it's not you. All right, hey, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Lori. So me and my kids have been obsessed with Just Go With It for years. Like, just
Okay.
literally, we quote you. You're our favorite character.
Oh, I love it.
So just want to know, like, what your favorite scene to film or any backstory, and then if you could just say hi to Christian and Kyle in Dolph's voice to make their day.
Hi, Christian and Kyle. Yeah, it's good to see you. It's Dolph. I'm sending you some sheep. So there were many scenes I loved. One of them I really loved was, there's a scene in the movie, okay, where me and Brooklyn Decker, her character, are out at dinner. So I do this whole character thing where I'm a sheep shipper, but I'm not. I make it all up. So we're at dinner, and for some reason, at the restaurant outside, a sheep is sick. So they're like, is there a doctor in here? Is there a veterinarian? There's a sick sheep, whatever. And Brooklyn's character's like, oh my God. She's like, Dolph, that's you. And I'm like, no, I know, I'm good. No, I just want to, eat food or whatever. And she's like, no, we got a doctor. So anyway, long story short, we go out and there's a sheep that's sick. So I had to do the Heimlich on the sheep. So there's a scene where cartoonishly I'm like hammering the sheep, blah, blah, blah. So 2 things about that. In the scene, we used a real sheep to establish the sheep. So there's a scene where, so for all the physical shit, obviously it was a stunt sheep, but we had to have a real one. So I had to do this fucking real sheep is in my lap, and I have my arms around it, and I've got to like kind of help it, like look like I'm doing it. But it's a real sheep. This sheep has no fucking idea it's in a movie. It doesn't know who Adam Sandler is. It has no idea who Jennifer Aniston is. It doesn't know why it's in this position where I'm cradling it and pumping its stomach. So this thing is fucking hooves are flying. I'm like dodging this poor thing that's like in hell. And I'll never forget that. The sheep wasn't harmed or whatever, it was fine. There's somebody on set to watch that. But it just made me, I was trying not to laugh in the scene because this poor thing, he's like, he can't call his agent and be like, bah. So that was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
How's it going? My name's Jacob. I wanted to actually ask you about the Minnesota Vikings as a
Oh,
Minnesota
God,
fan as well.
heaven.
So I just was curious what your thoughts on the upcoming season are and how you feel about J.J. McCarthy.
As a Vikings fan, I'm pessimistically optimistic, if that makes sense. I mean, we've been through the ringer 1,000 times. For those of you that don't know, the Minnesota Vikings have never won a Super Bowl. We've come close. We've been to 4, lost all of them. And we've come very, very close. And we have the team around JJ. I reached out to him. He's very fired up. But we don't really have a legit backup right now. So that's the only thing that scares me because he's coming off an injury. But they said that he's fine. He's going to be fine. So I think we're good. How do you feel about the Panthers? He started it.
All right, we got
My friend Adam Thielen went to the Panthers, so I was rooting for him.
nice.
Hi, my name is Dexter.
Hi, Dexter.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, what was it like to be able to hook up with Shirley Jones?
That was so awkward. Shirley Jones was my love interest in Grandma's Boy. She was phenomenal, a great person. It was fine because, another thing about comedy is you've got to commit. I tell young comedians and actors, you've got to commit. I've been naked in movies. Bucky Larson, A Haunted House. I've been the craziest wigs. I've done the craziest shit, but you have to. So Shirley Jones is beautiful. So I'm in bed with her, and, we're, obviously not fully naked, but from the waist down. I'm from, wait, no, the waist up, sorry. We had sex live on camera. It'll be available on Blu-ray. Whole separate DVD extra.
With commentary.
Yeah. So she was great, but the awkward part is we're in bed in this scene, and Sandler came up with the line. He goes, it'd be funny. And I go, what? And he goes, if you rolled over and you said, I should have worn a condom. So that was Adam's line. He gave that to me. But here's the awkward part. So I'm in bed with her. It's post-sex. We're sitting there doing the scene. So let's just say, here's us in bed, okay? Right over here, right here, watching the scene, is her husband and her son. So that was a tad awkward. They're just watching her mom, who's playing a whore. She's basically talking about all the men she's had sex with. And then I had, should have worn a condom and stuff. It was pretty awkward. So I mean, they were fine with it, but I was uncomfortable. But so yeah, it was phenomenal having sex with her.
Thank you.
So unfortunately, we don't have any more time for questions right now. So again, if you didn't get a chance to ask a question, you can ask Nick later on at his table. But everyone who's here in line, just stay right there. We're gonna do a stage selfie at the end of this panel, and I want you guys as close as possible, okay? So just stay right there. Before we wrap things up, what can we talk about that's coming up that people can look forward to? Obviously, something's coming out very, very soon, right? Maybe even today?
Well, today I've got a small part in Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah! Let's go!
And then, like I said, I've got 4 scripts. One of them we're putting together right now. We're hopefully, if there's any wood anywhere, knock on it. But we're going to try to shoot in November. And we possibly might be shooting in North Carolina. So it's an independent film. I wrote it. It's called Falcon. And it's a comedy set in the world of kind of like a Sons of Anarchy. And it revolves around a family roadhouse. It's not a wacky comedy, but it's a comedy. It's kind of like Grandma's Boy, because that was from my brain. So it's kind of like that. And Joel David Moore, who I talked about as JP, is set to direct it. So he's also a director. He's directed a handful of things that are great. And then I have a call. I just got a call today. We're setting up a Zoom call with me and Ron Perlman to play my dad. So we're fast casting now, but hopefully we'll be shooting that in November. And then I'm setting up 3 other scripts that are in motion right now. But that's the newest one, Falcon.
Any stand-up specials on the horizon?
Yeah, and then I just finished my tour, Toilet Head, which I came to Raleigh, Durham. And Toilet Head will be out before the holidays. We're editing it now. And then, so this is my YouTube channel. It's called Sword Nation. I'm a little late on the YouTube channel, but it's got all these shorts I've done. It's got most of my specials. It's got my last one I did, Make Joke from Face. It's got a pilot I did called Gay Robot back in the day with Comedy Central. It's awesome. So the YouTube channel will have that. And then my Instagram is Real Nick Swardson. It'll have any upcoming info on stuff, Real Nick Swardson.
Awesome, man. Well, this has been absolutely amazing getting to hang with you for a little bit.
Totally. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
One more time, give it up for Nick Swardson, everybody. Come on. All right, so now we're going to do a stage selfie. So, Nick, if you just stand right there on the edge of the stage.
Stage selfie, everybody.
Everybody in the line, you get to be as close as possible because you guys, unfortunately, didn't get to ask your question.